I'm with Maggie, Calvey and Evelyn Chadwick, both from Kelburn'S Country Centre in the management, and there have been a few ghostly encounters at the castle, we believe. First of all, can you take me through how did you become involved in this?
Because we're doing a fundraising thing for our cycle,
Yeah.
right? Ghostbusters approached us and said we would do a fundraiser, so we brought them out for a recce of the site. And last Wednesday night we did our first recce, and we had some spooky and voices, and we actually saw an image. Yeah.
Right, okay, so what spooky voices did you hear, and where was this?
It was in the old hen house. There was a sort of presence sitting on a bench, and then we asked, well, the medium asked if there was a spirit present to make themselves known. And we waited, and this voice came through on this machine they used, which she spoke into, asked if there's anybody there to make themselves heard. Is it male or female? And this voice came across and actually gave a name of James Robert Hamilton. And he tried to get the year out, but we couldn't get the actual year. And we asked who was, the medium felt somebody sitting next to her, and they gave the name of who it was as a Jonathan. And we actually saw, well, we didn't see, but the medium actually saw 2 footmen, a little boy about 7 or 8 and an adult. Unknown to them, I've got 2 footmen outfits up in the castle, one for a little boy about 8 and one for a small man. They knew nothing about that, but they actually described the outfits, and I know they're there. So, what else happened? There was voices, there was, in the gardens, they found they think it's a pagan graveyard, and there's 2 yew trees that are older than the castle, and the chap that runs Ghostbusters was told by a spirit ages ago that he would come across buried treasure if he crossed a bridge beneath an ancient tree, and just by chance I took him across the bridge to this ancient tree, and he's there today with a metal detector.
Alright, okay. So quite exciting then, it sounds like. How were you, Evelyn, and all this? How did you cope with it? What did you think of it?
I thought it was, I hadn't seen anything like this, and we had to go and witness each, anybody went to different places, and then we went with them. They introduced us and why we were there and what they hoped to get out of it. And as we were walking around to the different buildings and outside, the 2 mediums that were there could say, I feel a presence, there is somebody, there was somebody with me walking, they explained who they were, and they weren't very
sure. Do they have any idea of any years?
No, they weren't, they could explain what they looked like and what they dressed like, they thought roughly what years.
What did you, Maggie, just you mentioned the image that you saw, can you describe that?
Just sort of kind of ghosted, just like a kind of outline of a man sitting on a bench, but it was definitely an image of somebody sitting there, wasn't it? It was the actual...
What, in front of you? How far away from you was this?
About 10 yards, 10 feet away.
And did it just suddenly appear in front of you?
It was a sort of kind of it was a sort of ghostly figure, but the place was absolutely freezing. Everybody mentioned how cold the room suddenly was, and they kept seeing these big bits of air round about or something. It was like a kind of mist. It was like a mist. And I goose pimples up the back. Oh, definitely.
I know.
I felt as though something was going to come out of my mouth. I'd never felt it before, and I'm not like that. No, I'm not.
Fair enough.
Scary.
It was
scary.
Did you think when you saw it? I mean, where exactly was it again?
In the old hen house.
And what is that?
It's next to. It's just an old building, but the medium said it was at Byre at one point. Maybe been the cow hand or the careful and after the car. She didn't like that area at all. As soon as she walked up to that area, she didn't like it. She had this feeling, and that the man, the medium that was there, had to sit down because he felt there was something, and that's where we got the big reading from.
Yeah.
Did
you go into the castle at all?
No, we're taking that at a later date. Right. But we have got a ghost in the castle, but I don't want to disturb it at the moment. It's quite a friendly one.
How do you know about this castle?
Well, our Glasgow's told me about it as well. There's one up in a certain room in the castle, and sometimes you can get the door to open, and sometimes you can't, but then you'll push, and then suddenly it just flies open, and there's a lot of mess in the room. Okay. Things get moved around.
Okay. Well, we'll keep an eye on that, but thanks very much, ladies, okay? Thank you.